Bill, you've always had road warriors in your career here. How does this team, they seem to be rising to the top and playing their best ball on the road?
Yeah, we probably played better. I mean, I don't think it's any secret. We probably played better away from home than we have at home this year. And even the one game we lost, we were right there to win that one against a really good team. Hopefully, obviously continue to play well on the road, but we need to play equally as well at home. But I thought this past Saturday against A&M, that's probably about as good a half as we played, and hopefully, we can stretch that out and play well this Saturday against Oklahoma State. And they do a lot of different things that can certainly give us some problems, so we better be pretty alert.
You've talked about Boynton a couple times and just his poise and that kind of stuff. But what are the challenges of being that guy at that age, coming into this league and having to kind of just run on the fly and learn it with a bunch of good coaches and veterans?
I think there'd be challenges regardless of experience and age. Sometimes, most experienced staffs end up can't pieces don't quite fit or whatever, in this situation, it looks like to me the pieces really fit, and they fit him. He's got a great demeanor on the sideline, and his players probably get confidence from that, and they're playing hard. Brad had them playing really hard last year too, and they're playing equally as hard this year. So I mean they haven't taken a step backwards at all. Maybe taking a step sideways from philosophical thinking, but certainly not in effort and competitiveness.
Do you remember when he got the job? I mean, was that a surprise?
I wasn't in on the know on that, but it happened fast.
Yeah, right.
It happened fast, and I think maybe some people may have thought, Mike Boynton, he was in there for 1 year and was with Brad at Stephen F. prior to that, and so. But he's got a pretty good background when you study his background and where he's played and who he's been involved with and everything. So he's beyond his years. I guess he's the youngest guy in our league, hands down, isn't he? But he's certainly beyond his years.
I think a few weeks ago you said you hadn't reached the point in the season where you were rooting for specific teams yet. But last night with West Virginia and Iowa State and Texas Tech, did you have a rooting interest in those?
I didn't watch either game. I did not watch either game. Had some other stuff going on and was watching tape, but no, not yet. But 2 weeks from now, maybe. But it's still, if Texas beats Tech, they're tied with Tech. I mean, and they're still in position. So, like I said before. When two teams play each other, it's impossible. But I guess you kind of hope they both lose. But that's obviously never the case.
With the energy that Devontae is expending on the defensive end, how is that affecting him offensively?
You know what? I don't know that it is any more than I would like to say he's probably been our most consistent perimeter defender, and he's doing a good job on that end, but the reality is, we played 20 minutes of zone the other night too, so it's not like, he's chasing the guy around all the time. I would certainly make the case against Trey Young, the way that we defended him, and basically that was his guy, and he exerted a lot of energy to guard him well, and then not to get a rest, but the other times. From a defensive standpoint, I don't know that I feel it that much. I feel it more from an offensive standpoint. So West Virginia runs two guys at him, you still got to bring it up every possession. That kind of stuff. I think would wear you down maybe to the point where you don't shoot it as well. And then offensively, the way we play, we have more perimeter movement than a lot of teams do. So they're getting a pretty good workout on offense too. So maybe fatigue's contributed a little bit to him not shooting a good percentage the last couple of weeks, but I'm not really buying into that one too much. So
with his downhill driving ability and the block block he had the other day on Steve. Is Steve pretty much playing at a level you could have, what you expected him to do?
Yeah, I think he's playing great. I think, you know, we've had different phases. You know, Legero was without question our best for a while, and Devontae was our best for a while, and you know, Malik's kind of been as consistently good as anybody here of late, and then Speed's probably playing at the highest level he's played at since he's been here. And, you know, we've had periods of time where Doak was probably our best player in certain games, and so you know, the good thing is, the bad thing is not everybody's playing well at the same time individually. The good thing is we got good enough players that 5 different guys could be your best player. So those are positive things.
And Bill, this is a good three-point shooting league. You guys have held 12 opponents like 29% from three. I guess, what do you attribute?
I think they miss shots. Like I you know, I don't think our zone the other day was anything that for sure made K-State miss from guarding them. I think what it did was it probably got them out of rhythm, which makes shots harder, that kind of stuff. I think that's a good stat if you look at it over time. But the reality of it is that can change. You know, somebody goes, you know, 10 of 20 from 3 against you, and all of a sudden it changes, or somebody goes 3 of 20, then all of a sudden it changes positively. We should be defending the 3 a little bit better because we obviously have playing 4 guards. You know, you think that the teams that may struggle would be the teams that play at 2 bigs and they got a guard on the perimeter, but that certainly hadn't been the case with us.
Is the zone build something that you're okay using in the future, or would you rather kind of avoid it?
No, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm not stubborn at all. I'm fine with playing that. You know, I don't think it needs to be a mindset that that's what we go to, in my opinion. But we were certainly better than that the other night than we were man after Wade got going.
When you look at Mitch Lightfoot's numbers, nothing really stands out. But
Block shots do, I think. That would be the only thing probably that stands out.
Yeah, he's 6th in the Big 12 in that. And when you watch him play, it seems like he always makes a big impact. So what does he really bring back?
Energy. He's our most energetic big guy without question. He's got some personality. He's a much better athlete than what people probably give him credit for, and he's really quick off his feet. I mean, we got to beat one play against K-State in the first half, and he didn't really guard the ball screen right, and I think it was Brown got right past him, go lay it up. The next thing you know, he blocks it against the backboard, and we go the other way with numbers. So, I mean, just from an energy standpoint, he can do some things like that for us. And his attitude is at 12. I mean, we don't have anybody in the building that is more positive and is more into team and Kansas and all those things than what Mitch is.
Is he almost a leader at his young age? Or a team leader?
Well, and by example, yeah, I wouldn't say verbally, but by example, I would say yes.
Silvio didn't have boot camp and non-con and exhibition season. Mentally, how is he handling trying to fit in and contribute and understanding his role?
Well, we don't really know what his role is yet. I'd like for it to develop. He's had a bad his last 2 Big 12 games. You know, 3 turnovers in 1 minute, and yesterday, the other day, Wade gets 6 points and he has a turnover in 1 minute. So he really hadn't had a chance to do much. I need to keep him out there. But right now, I would say his head's spinning. I mean, it's spinning. It's going too fast for him. He shows flashes in practice of being terrific, and he is going to be terrific. But he just hasn't been able to probably get the minutes nor the opportunities. Nor is he quite confident enough for that to translate to the games yet. But I still believe this. I said it'd be February 1 before we kind of know who we are, and I think we have a better idea of it. But we're still not a complete team until he starts giving us more, because he's very capable of being one of the better, 6'7", 6'8" guys in our league.
What have you kind of seen from him at practices as far as his progress since he got here at the end of December?
I think his energy level's better. I think he goes after balls better. I think he's a above average rebounder when he's doing those things. and you can just see the wires aren't quite connecting, but they're getting closer. I mean, there's a chance that they may touch each other here pretty soon, and they haven't quite done that yet.
What do you think of the Big 12's proposal to change some NCAA transfer rules?
I'm not. What exactly is the Big 12's proposal?
Like if the coach gets fired or if there's sanctions, they can leave the program.
Well, that's the way it is now with sanctions. I'm very have strong beliefs on this, as do all coaches across America. The free agency aspect of it, where kids can go wherever they want to go, whenever they want to do it, we are all strongly against. Not because we think it's negative with kids. It creates an environment where now you're actually recruiting players from other teams in handshake lines. You have a guy, you have something negative happen to your program, and you just look for a guy at a mid-major that averages 15 a game, and we'll throw some bait out there for him. And they said we'll legislate that. You can't legislate that stuff. Everybody's got a contact that knows somebody, and people can contact you. So I think any time where you don't have to sit out is a very, very, very bad rule. I personally think that, for instance, and now there has been talks that if a coach leaves, allow everybody to leave, but they can't go to the school with the coach. But what about an assistant coach? What about an assistant coach if I guess he'd fall into that category. If he takes the players he recruited to go to another school, they'd have to sit. But the thing about it is, with our sport, people talk a lot about a lot of different things with our sport. Competitive balance is good, and what you've done is you just eliminated that. With that type of thing, if you can think about it, coach retires, and that whole team can leave before you have an opportunity to hire a new coach. I don't understand, and I don't understand how that fits into the academic component, where statistics show, unless you have a certain grade point average or whatnot, statistics show when you transfer, not usually all credits transfer, and it takes a little bit longer to graduate. So if we're looking at it from the big picture on what's best for student athletes as a whole over time, I would think graduation would be at the top of the list. And then I think competitive balance is right there underneath that.
Aside from Carroll, to talk about Oklahoma State, what do you like about them and a little bit about their style?
Well, they play fast. They run the same stuff that they ran with Brad, kind of Johnny Orr's old 2-1-2 high motion set, and they're doing some other things out of it as well. And they defensively, they play ridiculously high on the floor. Daring you to go make plays backdoor, daring you to play behind them. So I guess in football it'd be a lot like putting 8 guys in the box and daring you to throw it. That sounds pretty good football terminology for Super Bowl week. So that's how I would kind of see that. So they want to make you play behind that, and it's much easier said than done. And the pieces to me just fit. They don't have guys that were other than Jeffrey that were preseason, all Big 12 type guys, and you watch them play and you've got, man, Smith, the transfer, he's really good. Lindy Waters is really good. Mitchell Solomon's one of the best all-around big guys in our league without question. And Shine's having a fabulous year, and he's so athletic. So I think they got a really good team, and I think they do some stuff that's different than anybody else in our league.
Bill, what's a big area of improvement you want to see your team really step up in the second half of the conference?
I think a lot of the same. We got to we rebounded the ball decent the other night, but that's one time. But we got to rebound better. We certainly have to. Our first shot defense needs to get better, even though it hadn't been awful, but it hadn't been great. And I personally, I like to see us play better at home. Once you get into the postseason, obviously there's no home games, but I'd like to see us generate and play with a little bit more energy at home. It seems like our energy level maybe because we have a tighter huddle, maybe because we have a mindset, it's us against everyone. I don't know what it is. It seems like our energy level's been better away from home than what it has been at home. That's certainly got to improve.
Do you think? Are you good with all the
Yeah. I don't think anybody would be disappointed in a guy shooting 48% from three if he takes 10 a game, and he's probably not that far off here recently of taking that many. So yeah, I think that's all good.
Do you ever think, one of the reasons it makes Allen Fieldhouse so great is that all the human noise that it generates, and it seems in recent years the electronic noise has been louder and louder and kind of drowns out the human noise. Could that possibly be why you're not playing as well at home, because the people in charge of the electronic noise have just gotten a little out of control?
I don't listen to see how loud the electronic noise is.
I do.
My first guess would be absolutely not, but I haven't studied it. So we may form a committee.
I'd like a place.
You like a place, and you want to share that committee?
Yeah.
To talk about that. I do think this. And to speak to your point, in athletics and in sports, and it's primarily basketball, the natural old time crowd noise is a must. But in today's time, I think the piped in stuff at times is also a must. I think there needs to be a combination of both. And so I don't know what our percentages are in that, but I think we do a pretty good job with it from my perspective.
You talked about liking some of the elements of playing on the road the other day, getting the team together for meetings, eating together. Is there any way you could, or even think about replicating those things at home?
We do try to replicate them, but we don't stay in hotels. We don't get up at whatever time, eat breakfast together, go to practice together on the bus, come back, eat meals together, watch tape together. Here you don't eat you have one meal a day together here, and the kids go to class and do what it's just not quite as the same as what it is when you play away from home.
The league scoring has obviously been up as of late, but you mentioned Monday his rebounding numbers.
Yeah.
Is there any correlation between the two of those?
There could be. I think he's worried about the right things. I think he's worried about things that help our team win, and when you do that, you don't worry about scoring, and then you score more. So that there could be. There could be. Malik is not a terrific facilitator, getting other guys shots and things like that, but he has figured out that he can be a terrific rebounding guard. And so he's contributing in ways that maybe Devontae doesn't do as well, or Speed doesn't do as well. So I do think there could be a correlation. I don't know that for a fact. I think the biggest thing is that his confidence level is higher because he knows we want him out there. And I think he went through a period of time where, and maybe rightfully so, went through a period of time where he felt like he couldn't really play, which I don't really agree with, but I know all players go through that sometimes, and I don't think he feels that way.
I think he said last week that you guys really gave him the freedom to figure it out on his own. Was that by design? You just trusted, hey, he'll figure it out, or?
Yeah. I think he probably got tired of us telling him the same thing, and maybe we just quit telling him for a little bit, and he may look at that as freedom to figure it out. I don't know, but you guys analyze stuff a lot more.
But is that important though? I mean, would you rather have a kid figure it out on his own than to have to be told over and over, or does that not matter?
Yeah, I would say from an IQ standpoint, you'd rather a guy be able to figure some stuff out on their own. But that's not always the case. You'd like to, if you're playing in a scramble and you're hitting first, all your teammates would like, hey, just put it in the fairway so everybody else can go for it. But it's a scramble; you got to go for it too. So I mean, everybody kind of goes through that.
Has any team nationally stepped ahead of the rest in your eyes?
I'd say from my perspective, the three best teams in the nation have totally separated themselves from everybody else, and that would be Villanova, Purdue, and Virginia. But with that being said, I don't know that if they're the most talented teams or they're the teams that are playing the best. And because that could look totally different a month from now, you know, when other teams have a chance to maybe find themselves a little more and that stuff. The one thing about those three teams, they're all veteran teams, you know, and so they're not going anywhere. Those teams won't go anywhere, but you may have some teams narrow that gap, you know, obviously that are younger and will continue to find themselves as the season goes on.
Did you see that as possible? I mean, Purdue lost Swanigan, but they're
No, I
arguably
don't.
better.
Well, they took their team to the World
Sure,
University Games,
sure.
and they finished. You know, they won the silver, and that's not an easy thing to do. And so they've been together a long time. That group.
You mentioned that you wanted to make rebounding a point of emphasis. How big was it for you guys, to out rebound K-State by plus 10 on you?
Well, I think it was big for us to win, without question. So hopefully, you know, but the whole thing is we were better, but it's one game. You gotta do it right way every time. If you try to do it the right way every time, 7 out of 10 times it'll probably work out for you. It still won't work out 3 times. And that was a game in which it worked out well for us. But we could try real hard against Oklahoma State, and you know, for whatever reason, balls don't bounce our way, or they're a little bit quicker, or they're a little bit more aggressive, and they can wear us out. But that's an area that we just need to continue to talk about, work on, and get better at.
Have any other transfers stood out in practice?
Any other transfers?
Yeah, the Lawsons or.
Yeah, I think they all have. I think Charlie and Diedrich and KJ have all had really good years. Really comparable to what Malik was doing last year. Those three are all doing that this year.
Anything else?